Welcome back to a new first look episode of a cool sci-fi game yet to be released, where we take a fresh look at what a game is all about so you can decide if it is wishlist material or not. Hey guys, today we're taking a look at Jumpship, which is best described as a mission-based cooperative first-person shooter. The experience that Jumpship promises to deliver is that of a PvE adventure in space for you and up to 3 friends, where you'll have to work together as the crew of a spaceship. Now, one of the cool big features is that you can seamlessly move between your ship's interior and exterior, going from manning a turret to stepping outside on the hull to fire at enemy ships, or just jump off and jetpack to a planet's surface. The goal is to run various missions with your team, where you'll encounter different enemies and collect rewards to upgrade your ship and personal weapons with. If you've played Sea of Thieves or Star Citizen, then you might see some comparisons in gameplay and when it comes to crewing a ship. But I know I have to be careful with comparisons because it's never comparing apples to apples, but it's always about some elements that might feel familiar to people. So my point is, if you like those games, and in particular the way that you can team up with friends and just have fun without any competitive edge, then Jumpship might just be something for you. There's also no indication so far of any monetization or some sort of battle pass system, which seems just like the right choice for this title and its design goals. Even if they do end up introducing some content to unlock, I think it'll be merely cosmetic. It's a pretty straightforward concept, leaning more towards arcade shooter than a space sim from the looks of it, but the game has yet to reach an early access release, which is now set for the end of 2024, so there's no real information yet about the depth or details of the mechanics. Jumpship is being developed and published by Keepsake Games, a Swedish studio founded in 2021 by a group of industry veterans who worked on titles such as Minecraft and It Takes Two. Their focus is making rich and memorable games, with this game being a primary example of their desire to let players shape new memories together. That explains the cooperative character of the game, and even though the option to play it solo is mentioned, it seems that if you have a group of friends that shares a love for these type of co-op games or sci-fi games in general, this is an excellent title for you guys. We don't know how matchmaking takes place, if and how you can add other players to an in-game friends list, or something like a quick join option exists to team up with randoms, but that's something I'll keep an eye out for as soon as I can test the gameplay and give you some more detailed information on how that works. There's more than enough people taking notice of this game, that's for sure, because when Jumpship launched on Steam back in April, it was wishlisted more than 100,000 times in its first week. That was Keepsake's goal for the entire early access period, so they must have been really surprised by the overwhelmingly positive reception. Graphically, the game delivers some beautiful scenery, and the sense of scale coming from the level design is great. Just looking at this footage here, seeing the atmospheric clouds drift by, coupled with great lighting effects or the viewing distance that gives this vibe of really being out in the open galaxy with large planet-side locations instead of feeling confined. To me, it sets up a really good level of immersion. Especially this warp-in effect looks amazing. Now, whilst gallivanting around the galaxy, running these missions is the main gameplay loop, with the challenge coming from how you tackle them, each mission with its own unique approach and level of difficulty. Combat is inevitable both on land, in the air and in space, and this is where working together will really pay off. Missions can be chosen on your ship's bridge at a terminal with some basic indication of mission type, reward and threat level. It looks like once you arrive on site, you're shown how many resources and components you can then expect to find during the mission. From the looks of it, you can perform some scans on a map to get a better reading of where to find these, which is kinda neat because it adds another layer to a mission. Instead of just going in blind, shooting anything that moves, this way you can actually discuss with your team, the right route and tactics you want to employ.
Sentries blocking one of the cave entrances.
Even more ships.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of ships. But there seems to be...
I think we can go left here, right?
Yeah, that should be okay.
Despite being a game that aims to provide the best co-op space crew experience, you can play solo, but teamwork is really what this game is built around, because there are various tasks you can perform on your ship, for example shooting turrets and in the meantime repair damaged modules in the middle of a fight, which are obviously done that much more efficient in a team instead of going Rambo mode. Now, I'm not sure if difficulty or the level of reward scales with the number of players in a mission, but it's something I'll update you on in a hands-on gameplay follow-up. Something interesting, there are no classes in Jumpship, so you can decide for yourself what type of role you want to play in the team. The devs have stated there will be different gear that will give your character a slight boost during certain tasks, such as perhaps carrying more ammo, handling radiation better, or being able to collect more materia resources. But these will not have a big impact on gameplay to the point where you need to spec your crew a certain way. It's more flavor. As a footnote, Jumpship has a Discord server and I've added the link to it in the description of the video. Now I think instead of forcing you into a certain specific type of role but giving you this flexibility during missions, it makes the game very approachable. You can still bend your role a bit to your preference with the suits and gear, and as you can see here, you can pick up certain items like an ammo box which you can then during the mission drop to let everyone resupply, or a healing bot which will automatically heal you upon taking damage, making you still some sort of a support character. You can also help out other players when they become incapacitated after taking too much damage, helping them back into the fight, which really enhances that team play feeling. In terms of mission rewards, you're presented with some loot which can be weapons or components for your ship from what we've seen so far. And again, no details are yet known about how these components work, if they have stats or just part of a rudimentary tiered system, something like common, uncommon and rare components, or how many options or variants there will be, but this is also something I'll let you know in a follow-up. Just to reiterate, there is no PvP in this game. Every fight will be against AI ships or robots on the ground. That's something to keep in mind. So now that we've seen missions, teamwork and the general gameplay premise, I keep wondering how much the game offers in terms of replayability and keeping the game from becoming repetitive. Because Keepsake Games claims that no two runs will be exactly the same, based on having handcrafted a pool of missions, which sounds like it translates to maps, so you might encounter the same map or location multiple times, but each mission will then have random elements to give them that feel and variety. Now at face value this sounds okay, having handcrafted locations and all, but the question then is, how many locations will the game offer in total? Because the way I see it, this might just correlate to where you rank on the scale of being a casual or hardcore gamer. If you play this game for instance for a couple of hours every weekend, how long before you start running into the same old maps and structures, you know exactly where to go, what the best route is, etc. with only slight differences because of the random elements or type of objective to complete. This is something I look forward to finding out in early access as well, because so much depends on how long missions will take to complete, how much, let's call it, mission binging you can do, how combat ties into this, how the loot system ties into all of this, how upgrading your ship works, you get the point. This still leaves a lot to the imagination, but from what we can see so far, Jumpship looks very promising in terms of gameplay and visual attractiveness. It seems like the type of game meant to be played casually for shorter sprints instead of these game-a-thons where you spend hours on end grinding it out. I mean, if you'd give me a week of absolutely nothing to do, 10 hours a day, I can fill that easily with something like Stellaris or Dyson Sphere program, but those are different type of games with a lot of variation in activities and length of play. Now I can't yet tell if this game allows for that much continuous play, or if it's one of those titles you just take off the shelf every once in a while just for some laughs and a fun, casual gameplay and looting experience. Now without any doubt the real emphasis is on playing this as a crew, working together, which means friend groups are going to have a blast playing this game. When you're more into industry games, check out this first look of Star Miner, or if you want to dive into some team co-op action right now, check out Helldivers 2 here. That's all for now. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of the game, and if you've enjoyed this video, click like to support it. If you're not subscribed, now is a good time to do so, because I will follow up on Jumpship and other great sci-fi gaming content, so don't forget to turn on your notifications. I'm Stefan, thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit about Jumpship and hope to see you in the next first look video here at Sir Stefan Gaming. Bye guys.